The Timekeeper's Burden. Star Wars. The note had appeared in my pocket as always. It had been folded neatly, tucked into the inner pocket of my coat. As soon as I saw it, I couldn't help but chuckle. Modesto, California is nice this time of year. I heard they may need help making movies out there. Enjoy yourself? Whoever, or whatever, was sending me these notes had developed a sense of humor over the centuries. I wasn't sure if I should be grateful or annoyed. After so long, the mystery of my mission never ceased to surprise me, even when the directions seemed absurd. And so, I found myself in 1972, standing on the set of American Graffiti, directed by a quiet but determined filmmaker named George Lucas. I had taken up a minor role as a set hand, blending in while helping with lighting and setup. Lucas wasn't much for idle conversation, but I could see the tension in his eyes. This movie was a personal project for him, something nostalgic. The film was inspired by his youth, but it was clear there was more bubbling beneath the surface. He had dreams, bigger ones. But the weight of it all was starting to crack him. After a few months of watching him work, I saw the real challenge wasn't just finishing the film, it was what came after. One night, as the set quieted down and the crew packed up, Lucas lingered. The pressure had been building, and it finally broke through. We found ourselves standing near the trailers, the California night settling in. "I don't know if I can keep doing this," he said, his voice low and tired. "I think I might just give the whole thing up. It's too much pressure. Too much frustration." I stayed quiet for a second, sensing he needed to vent. The weight of THX 1138's failure still hung over him, and now the success of American Graffiti wasn't guaranteed either. "They wouldn't even sell me the rights to Flash Gordon," he muttered, shaking his head. "I wanted to make this big space adventure. But now, I'm stuck. Feels like every door is closing." That was my cue. This was why I was here. I had to keep him from giving up. "I'm no expert," I said, leaning against the trailer. "But after watching you these last few months, I can see it gets tough. It's like anything, you have to stay the course." He looked at me, but I wasn't done. "Why do you need Flash Gordon anyway?" I asked, letting the question hang in the air. "You've got something better in you, something bigger. If you need to, make your own universe. If you have to, build your own company. But don't give up." Lucas looked at me, his frustration giving way to curiosity. "Make my own universe?" he repeated like he hadn't considered it yet. "One thing I've noticed about you," I said, meeting his gaze. "You don't just want to tell stories. You need to. I've seen it in the way you work. And if you walk away now, it's not the industry or Flash Gordon holding you back, it's you." He blinked, taken aback by the statement. I could see the gears turning in his mind, the spark rekindling. "You really think I can do that?" he asked quietly, almost as if he was speaking to himself. "I know you can," I replied, giving him the final nudge. The silence that followed wasn't awkward, it was the quiet of a man deep in thought. Lucas nodded, his eyes distant, but no longer lost. He turned and walked away, and I knew the spark had caught fire. Star Wars and industrial light and magic, they were all on the horizon now. My mission was complete. As I walked down the empty street, a sense of satisfaction settled over me. I reached into my coat pocket, already expecting it. Sure enough, there was a new note, folded as always. I unfolded it and laughed out loud. "Elijah, I am your father." Shaking my head, I folded the note and tucked it back into my coat. Whoever was guiding me through time certainly had a sense of humor. Smiling to myself, I continued down the street, ready for whatever was coming next.